Hello folks, and welcome back to another video. So today guys, I'm going to be giving you my predictions for the 2021 Oscar nominations. So I have assembled my lists just to give you guys a rundown of how this is going to work. Of course, for Best Picture, I'm going to give you guys 9 nominations. For every other category, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 nominees. And then for most of the categories, I'm going to be giving you guys 1 or 2 films or individuals who maybe have an outside shot of potentially slipping into the nominations. So I'm very excited to do this. Of course, the Oscar nominations are Monday, March 15th, so it's coming up, so I got to get this video out to you guys. I have ranked, I guess you could say, these nominees, but don't put too much into where these films are positioned on this list. They're kind of positioned in order of which films I think have the best chance of being nominated to the films that I think have the least chance of being nominated. But again, I didn't put as much thought into that as, you know, what the nominees were. So before I get into this, I just want to remind you guys, if you guys enjoy award season content, movie content in general, then please hit that red subscribe button. And also, if you guys enjoy this video, please hit that like button as well. I would really appreciate that. Alrighty, guys. Without any further ado, let's get into our first category here. So I'm going to be starting with the technical categories. I will end with Best Picture, so it'll kind of be a build-up here. And yeah, let's get into it. All right, so our first category here that we are going to address is costume design. So my 5 nominees that I have predicted here for costume design, starting out with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, of course, Mank, Emma, Mulan, and then The Personal History of David Copperfield. The 2 films that I'm giving an outside shot of potentially slipping into this category is News of the World and The United States versus Billie Holiday. Now, if I remember correctly, Gold Derby did not have Personal History of David Copperfield in their top 5. So me putting it there is taking a bit of a gamble. But it's a gamble I'm willing to take because I don't think the personal history of this might be the only category that the personal history of David Copperfield gets nominated in, and I do think that the voters who are deciding on these nominees, they're gonna want to slip the personal history of David Copperfield in somewhere, and I think this is the place that they're gonna want to do it. So that's why I'm putting it here at number 5, although I could see, of course, I think Gold Derby had News of the World in their top 5. I could potentially see David Copperfield being replaced here with News of the World, or even The United States versus Billie Holiday, just because, you know, the costumes, the dresses, the clothing in that film is pretty. It does stand out. So I could definitely see it possibly doing it, although I think News of the World probably has the best chance of dethroning Personal History of David Copperfield. But again, if they're going to award it anywhere, I see this as being the place. So I'm taking a gamble, but it's a gamble I'm willing to take. All right, guys, moving on here. Makeup and hairstyling. So my predictions here are Mank, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Hillbilly Elegy, Emma, and this is an interesting one. Again, kind of taking a gamble here, going against Gold Derby a little bit. Pinocchio. I'm putting Pinocchio at number 5 instead of something like Birds of Prey, which I see having an outside shot of potentially being nominated. I don't really have much of a rationale as to why I'm doing this. This is just kind of one of these categories that I'm willing to gamble on. I actually don't know what critics thought of Pinocchio. I haven't seen the Rotten Tomatoes score, but I don't see them giving this to Birds of Prey. I don't know. I mean, that would definitely be the safe prediction. But from what I've heard, Pinocchio, this is like the Pinocchio category. If it's going to get nominated anywhere, it's going to be here. I just don't see them. I don't see them nominating Birds of Prey, but I do see it. I mean, if it gets nominated, I won't be surprised whatsoever. But again, another example. This is my gamble category. I'm willing to throw Pinocchio in there and take a chance at it possibly getting nominated here, but could definitely see Birds of Prey sneaking into that number 5 spot. All right, moving on. Best production design. So we have Donald Graham Burt and Jan Pascal for Mank, Mark Ricker, Karen O'Hara, and Diane Stroughton from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. David Crank, Elizabeth Keenan, News of the World, Nathan Crowley, Kathy Lucas for Tenet, and Cave Quinn and Stella Fox for Emma. All right, so this is another one where I'm kind of being risky here. I'm definitely taking more chances with these technical categories because I think some of the main, the major categories, we're talking, actor, actress, picture, those are categories that I guess you could say I'm not willing to take chances on, but also I just feel a little bit more confident in. But with some of these categories, I don't know. I mean, the ones that I think are locks, Mank definitely, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom definitely a lock. News of the World I see being a lock here. Emma's the one that's a little bit of a gamble. A lot of people are putting Mulan in replace of Emma. But again, I mean, that film, in terms of costumes, production, makeup and hair even, kind of, those are kind of this film's categories, especially production design and costumes. So if it's going to get nominated anywhere, to me, this is one of the categories, along with costumes, that I think it has the best chance. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm putting Emma at that number 5 spot. But Mulan, and the other reason I'm putting Emma here is because the Critics' Choice, all of the awards that I've seen, the major award shows that I can remember, have not been recognizing Mulan whatsoever. I don't know what's responsible for this recent surge of Mulan love, or I guess you could say. I don't know what's responsible for it, but a lot of people are predicting Mulan to sneak into this category. I don't know. I wouldn't feel safe, or I wouldn't feel comfortable predicting it here, just because it hasn't been getting nominated for anything. So to me, I think Emma. I feel more comfortable predicting Emma instead of Mulan. And then another film I could see possibly having an outside shot here is The Personal History of David Copperfield. But again, I think Personal History David Copperfield has a better chance at getting nominated here in costume design than production design, so I'm not willing to put that one in there either. All right, guys, moving on. Best editing. All right, so I definitely think Trial of the Chicago 7 is a lock. Alan Baumgarten. Mikkel E.G. Nielsen for Sound of Metal. Now, of course, at the Critics' Choice Awards, Chicago 7 and Sound of Metal actually ended up tying. So I'm putting these in my top 2 mainly because of the Critics' Choice Awards, right? I feel pretty comfortable predicting those. The fact that they tied, the fact that they were both heavily recognized at the Critics' Choice, I think that they both have a very good chance at being nominated. So I'm putting those as locks. I'm labeling those as locks here. Another film that I think is safe to say a lock for best editing to be nominated, Chloe Zhao, Nomadland. I don't think its chances of winning are very good, but again, I'll be predicting winners in a totally separate video once we get closer to the Oscars ceremony, but I do think that it will get recognized, it will get nominated for editing. Yorgos Lanthimos, I think The Father is going to get nominated for editing here. And then Kirk Baxter for Mank, feel pretty comfortable with that one as well. In terms of outside shots, could potentially see Promising Young Woman getting nominated here, or maybe Tenet. Maybe Tenet. I could see a lot of, that film has been talked about as a possibility to be nominated. So those are my outside shots. Feel pretty confident about this category, though. All right, moving on. Best visual effects. All right, I don't have any outside shots here because I think these are going to be I don't really think anybody else has that great of a chance of being nominated here. There were some films that didn't make the short list, like Greyhound, Invisible Man, didn't even make the short list, so I can't even consider them here. All right, so Tenet I think has definitely the best chance. I see it winning this as of right now, but we'll see. I see Mulan being nominated here. This one just makes sense to me to be nominated. I would be surprised if it didn't make it in here. The Midnight Sky being the big, kind of space movie that it is, very visual effectsy. I would be pretty surprised if The Midnight Sky didn't make it, although it wasn't a very well-reviewed film. This is, one of the best, or one of the categories where it has the best chance at being nominated, a category that I definitely see voters wanting to reward Midnight Sky for because haven't seen the movie, but from what I've heard, the visual effects are definitely one of the better aspects, one of the pros, I guess you could say, of the film. Now, Mank, I haven't seen Mank, and maybe someone in the comments section below can enlighten me. What visual effects is in Mank? I don't know. I mean, they're probably subtle visual effects, like 1917, for example. I remember watching that Oscar ceremony last year, I had heard that 1917 was nominated leading up to the Oscars, and I was thinking to myself, what visual effects are in 1917? Well, they're subtle effects. It's not, in your face Wonder Woman 1989 Greyhound special effects, right? It's subtle effects. So I'm assuming that that's what's in Mank, more subtle visual effects, kind of like in 1917. But someone in the comment section below, please enlighten me. I would love to know, like, what aspect of Mank is visual effecty? Like what in the where are the visual effects being used in Mank? Because I haven't seen the film, so I have no idea. But I am predicting it because everybody else is. Gold Derby has it high, all of that good stuff. Welcome to Chechnya is actually a documentary, and another film that I haven't seen it. I don't know what the visual effects are in this. Again, maybe someone can enlighten me here. It doesn't matter. I mean, these are my nomination predictions, so it's not like I don't have to agree with these, or I don't really even have to understand them. I'm just curious because it is a documentary, so it's very interesting that it would have that it would get nominated in a visual effects category. So I'm just curious, what are the visual effects in Welcome to Chechnya? All right, moving on. So this next category, a lot of people are labeling as the sound of metal category, and it's hard to argue with that because the film's premise is, built around this concept that our main character is losing his hearing. He can't hear. The film puts you in his shoes, right? You hear things from his point of view, his perspective, and what they do with that sound design is very impressive, very unique, very interesting. So Sound of Metal, a lock here to be nominated. Mank, I definitely see being nominated here. Again, from what I've heard, the way that that film is able to capture or encapsulate the sound of an old school 1940s film, that's what's so impressive about the sound design, is how they're able to make it sound old, retro. So definitely see Mank being nominated here. Tenet, again, wasn't a huge fan of the film, I've mentioned that before, but it definitely does cool things with sound and visual effects, of course. Soul, from what I've heard, that's a film that we should be confident in being nominated here. And then Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, this was not a film that a lot of people were thinking would be nominated in a category like this, but there is music in it, there is singing. So it is obviously a very sound-based film, so wouldn't be surprised to see it nominated here at all. If any films were to, replace it here in this category, I could possibly see News of the World, or Greyhound. Definitely could see potentially Greyhound, since I don't think, Greyhound didn't make the shortlist for visual effects, so I feel like voters, Oscar voters could possibly, maybe want to recognize it somehow. Maybe want to, if you're going to put it in any category, this seems like it would be the one that makes sense since it didn't make the short list for visual effects. So I could see it maybe happening, but yeah, I don't know. I think News of the World probably has a slightly better chance at slipping in here. All right, moving on. Moving on to Best Original Score. So Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, John Batiste, Soul, easy lock there. Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross for Mank. Again, very confident. Another one I'm very confident in getting nominated. James Newton Howard, News of the World. I heard the score in that film was very good, and I believe Gold Derby has it ranked pretty high, so I see that taking a nomination here. Emily Mosseri, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, for Minari. Okay, so if you look down here, you can see that my outside shot is Tenet. A lot of people are going to put Tenet here, specifically or particularly to replace a film like Minari. A lot of people would probably swap Minari Tenet or maybe Minari Midnight Sky. But I don't think they're going to nominate Tenet. I just have a feeling that they are not going to nominate Tenet for Best Original Score, although I do think it's worthy, it's deserving. I mean, I haven't listened to the Minari score, so I can't really speak to that. I haven't listened to the Midnight Sky one either. But I don't know. I mean, Tenet feels like a film that would be nominated, but I just have a feeling it won't. And I've been hearing there's been a lot of hype, a lot of momentum for Minari, hearing a lot of great things about that score. So I see it taking the place of Tenet here, and then Alexandre Desplat for the Midnight Sky. I think he'll make it in there. All right, moving on. Best Original Song. This was interesting because originally when I was writing these nominations, I did not think to compare my nominees to the short list. So I originally put Tigress and Tweed from United States versus Billie Holiday in here, and then I later realized that it wasn't in the short list, so it can't be nominated. So Tigress and Tweed's not in here, but I do have Speak Now. I think that's a lock from One Night in Miami. Fight for You, Judas and the Black Messiah, lock, I think. EOC or Scene from The Life Ahead. Of course, it won the Golden Globe. I've been frequently saying that I think it's kind of an isolated incident. Of course, Speak Now won at Critics' Choice. Hear My Voice, Trial of the Chicago 7. I think that has a great chance of making it in here. And then the one that I had to replace Tigress and Tweed with was Husavik from Eurovision Song Contest, the story of Fire Saga. I've heard it's a great song, and I actually do remember listening to it a while ago, and from what I remember, it is a solid song. There was a song from Borat that I can't think of the name of right now, but that's also being talked about as potentially sneaking in here. This one I've been hearing about more, so I think just based off of word of mouth, I think has the best chance of being nominated. All right, moving on. Best Documentary Feature. Dick Johnson Is Dead. I'm very confident that will get nominated. I am also confident that Collective will get nominated, just because critically acclaimed documentary. Hard to imagine it not being nominated. Boys State, another great documentary. I've seen Boys State and Dick Johnson Is Dead. Haven't seen any of these other ones though, but I really enjoyed Boys State. It's a political documentary, so the fact that it was a good political documentary, that's a recipe for success when it comes to the Oscars. Time, I see that getting nominated definitely. I've heard it's very good. Welcome to Chechnya. Again, hearing a lot of word of mouth lately. It's gained a lot of momentum in multiple categories, so I definitely see that being nominated here in the 5th spot. In terms of outside shots here, All In, The Fight for Democracy was a documentary that I believe was being talked about a lot early on. But Welcome to Chechnya has kind of snuck itself in there and replaced Fight for Democracy. And then Crip Camp, another documentary that I think was talked more about early on, not as much now, but I think it has an outside shot of being nominated, but not confident in putting those ones in there. All right, Best International Feature. Another round, for sure. Collective, for sure. I'm saying that's a lock. Oh gosh, forgive me. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. I'm not even going to try because I don't want to butcher it. But our number 3 pick here, hearing a lot about that, I'm mainly basing this decision off of Gold Derby. This is an international film that that Gold Derby's ranking pretty high in terms of its odds to get nominated. So I'm going to kind of side with Gold Derby here since they know a little bit more about what films kind of have the momentum as of right now to be nominated here. Two of Us at number 4, and then La Llorona at number 5. I would love to see it get nominated. You don't see horror films, international feature or not, you don't see horror films being represented very much at the Oscars, so I would love to see that happen. All right, moving on. Best Cinematography. Joshua James Richards for Nomadland definitely is a lock here. Eric Messerschmidt for Mank. Darius Wolski, News of the World. All locks so far, I think. Now we start to get into interesting territory. Hoyt van Hoytema for Tenet. Oh, I hope this is one of the 2 categories that I think Tenet is deserving of to be nominated. I could see it getting snubbed, definitely, by something potentially like Minari, or I've even been hearing things about First Cow. But I think it's deserving. I think it should be nominated. I hope it's nominated. And then at my number 5 spot here, this is a bit of a gamble here because a lot of people are saying Minari is going to get that 5th spot, but I'm taking a chance. Newton Thomas Sigel for Da 5 Bloods. I think Da 5 Bloods is not going to be a film that's going to be given much attention here at the Oscars in terms of nominations. So I'm gonna say that because of that, they're gonna want to push it to be nominated here for cinematography, just because I don't think Spike Lee's getting director. I don't think it's gonna get picture either. So out of all the categories here, I see cinematography being one that Da 5 Blood sneaks into. But as I said, in terms of my outside shots, hearing a lot of great things about Minari's cinematography, and a lot of people are saying that, or a lot of people are predicting Minari to be nominated over something like Da 5 Bloods. And then First Cow, another one, hearing good things about. We could see First Cow do something very similar to like a movie like The Lighthouse, another A24 film, where it didn't get nominated for anything. Well, actually, no, Willem Dafoe got a nomination, I believe. But other than Dafoe's nomination, it didn't get anything other than cinematography. So it could do something like that where this ends up being the only category that it gets any recognition in. But again, outside shot of being nominated, I think. All right, moving on. Best Animated Feature. Soul. Don't have much really to say about this. Soul, lock. Wolfwalkers, lock. Onward, lock. Over the Moon, lock. The only one that I see potentially getting replaced here is The Croods: A New Age. With what you may ask, Shaun the Sheep movie, Farmageddon. I've heard it's great, and Gold Derby has it, in contention, potentially pushing a nomination. But if anything is going to get replaced here, I see it being The Croods, and I think Shaun the Sheep has the best chance at doing that. All right. Best Adapted Screenplay. All right, now we're getting into the screenplay categories. Chloe Zhao, Nomadland, I think is a lock. I don't want to talk about who I think is going to win, because as I said earlier, that's for a separate video. But again, Chloe Zhao, Kemp Powers, both incredible screenwriters and both incredible screenplays from Nomadland and One Night in Miami. Those are definitely locks. Christopher Hampton and Florian Zeller, have been hearing great things about that screenplay. Still have yet to see The Father. I really want to, though. Ruben Santiago Hudson for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Pretty confident that this one will get nominated. Mainly because, as I was thinking about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, of course, much like One Night in Miami, it's a very dialogue-driven film. Therefore, the screenplay is very vital to the film's success. So I would actually be pretty surprised if Ma Rainey's Black Bottom doesn't get nominated here. And then Paul Greengrass and Luke Davies for News of the World. Haven't seen News of the World, but I've been hearing that the screenplay is pretty good. So films that I could potentially see as an outside shot to get nominated here. I could see Borat's subsequent movie film sneaking in here. Same thing with First Cow again. It really... I honestly wouldn't be surprised if First Cow gets in somewhere. It's just a matter of where Oscar voters want to recognize this. I have a sneaking suspicion that First Cow is going to be recognized somewhere. The question is, will it be something like cinematography or will it be adapted screenplay? I could see First Cow potentially sneaking in here and taking an adapted screenplay nod. I can't find my cursor. I think it has an outside shot. Wouldn't be surprised. And then again, Borat, subsequent movie film. I would actually maybe say First Cow has a better chance over Borat of sneaking in here and of upsetting. All right, moving on to best original screenplays. So, most of these I think are locks here. Aaron Sorkin for sure is a lock for Trial of the Chicago 7. Emerald Fennell, lock. Jack Fincher, Mank, again, I think that's definitely a lock. He's been nominated everywhere so far for that screenplay. Lee Isaac Chung for Minari. I definitely see that happening. And then Darius Marder and Abraham Marder for Sound of Metal. All of these, like I said, I think I think all of most of these are locks. I'm confident in all of these, though. Really, the only film that I see having an outside chance at sneaking in here for a nomination is Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always from Eliza Hittman. But even Sound of Metal at number 5, I'm confident putting it there and predicting that one. All right, moving on here to Best Director. All right, guys, we're getting into the big ones. All right, Chloe Zhao, no doubt. David Fincher, no doubt. Emerald Fennell, no doubt. Aaron Sorkin, I'm very confident will get nominated for this. Now, Regina King's the only one that I could see maybe getting replaced with someone like Spike Lee or Lee Isaac Chung. I could see potentially happening. It'll be interesting to see how much the Oscars like Minari. You know, if they absolutely adore Minari, I could definitely see it getting picture, actor, director, supporting actress. I could see it getting a ton of stuff if they really like it. But I don't know. I'm still putting those two as outside shots. Regina King is my prediction here at number 5. But I don't know. So really, I think 1 through 4 are locks. Regina King's the only one I could see possibly getting replaced with either Spike Lee or Lee Isaac Chung. Really, just depending, like I just said, how much they like Minari and how much they like Da 5 Bloods. Because I am predicting another nomination for Da 5 Bloods coming up here shortly. All right. Now into the acting categories. Best Supporting Actress. This is going to be such a fun category. So Ye Jung-yoon, very confident that she will get a nomination. Maria Bakalova, very confident in that. Olivia Colman, confident. Glenn Close, I'm confident. I'm not. Yeah, because I mean, who else would they nominate? I mean, I guess Jodie Foster or Ellen Burstyn, but really the only actress I can really see or really imagine getting possibly swapped for is Amanda Seyfried. It's crazy how much her momentum has dropped off. She was a front runner for a very long time, very early on in awards season prediction. She was a front runner, but since then, Amanda Seyfried's really dropped off. I still think she's going to get nominated here because I have a feeling that the Oscars are going to like Mank. I think they're going to like Mank. So I see them nominating Amanda Seyfried, but outside shots to potentially replace Seyfried. Ellen Burstyn, I could see that happening from Pieces of a Woman. Jodie Foster, maybe, but I don't think her chances are very good. Now, just real quick, Glenn Close, like I said, I almost could switch these. Glenn Close and Amanda Seyfried are very interchangeable for me in terms of who has the better chance at being nominated because, like I said, I think the Oscars are going to like Mank. I think Mank's going to get quite a few nominations because, although this really shouldn't make much of a difference, because Hillbilly Elegy was just, bashed by critics. I could see the Oscars just really kind of trying to avoid Hillbilly Elegy altogether. I could see them just not wanting to nominate it for anything. And although Glenn Close is very good in Hillbilly Elegy, she could potentially be one who gets switched with. This is tough for me, but these are my 5 predictions. Those are my 2 outside shots. Let's move on. All right. Now into Best Supporting Actor, a category I feel a lot more comfortable with, a lot more confident in because I don't have any outside shots here. I'm very confident in these 5. Daniel Kaluuya, definitely a lock. Sacha Baron Cohen, a lock. Leslie Odom Jr., a lock. Racy, I see the Oscars definitely putting Racy in there because his performance was great, and I mean, I think they're gonna, and I think the Oscars are gonna like Sound of Metal too. I think Sound of Metal is gonna get several nominations here, so Racy is definitely gonna be in there. I see, and Chadwick Boseman, I see him getting in here for supporting actor for Da 5 Bloods. Yeah, I'm very confident in that. Now, one person that a lot of people are going to talk about who could potentially spoil here is Jared Leto. I don't think that's going to happen. That is a Golden Globes thing. That is totally a Golden Globes thing. I don't see I don't see the Oscars going for that. I really don't. But again, you never know. I should never say never, I guess. But I definitely see them being more drawn to Da 5 Bloods as a film, definitely over the Little Things. But for sure, Chadwick Boseman's performance. I've heard he's great in Five Bloods. I see them appreciating his performance a lot more than Jared Leto. So I would be shocked if Jared Leto got nominated here, frankly. All right, moving on. Best Lead Actress. All right, another category that's been very entertaining. Carey Mulligan, I think, is a lock to get nominated here. Frances McDormand, a lock. Viola Davis, a lock. Even though the BAFTAs went absolutely crazy, I definitely see Carey Mulligan and Viola Davis getting nominated for the Oscar. And then Vanessa Kirby, I think, is gonna make it in here. And then, of course, Andra Day, the surge that she's had, of course, winning the Golden Globe. I don't think her chances of winning this are very good, but I definitely think that it's been made clear that people really enjoy this performance. People really respect this performance. So I definitely see her getting nominated here for lead actress. The only actress I see with an outside shot here to be nominated, and I wouldn't be absolutely shocked if Zendaya got nominated and replaced Andra Day at that 5th spot. I wouldn't be absolutely shocked with that because I think she has a legitimate chance. It'll just be a matter of which performance did the Oscars appreciate more. I don't know. It's hard to argue with Andra Day's successes to this point, winning the Golden Globe, being nominated everywhere. Malcolm and Marie was a bit of a late release, so I don't know. I think I'm more confident with Andra Day to take that 5th spot. All right, but don't ask me to predict the winners because that'll give me a headache. All right, best lead actor. All right, Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, a lock. Riz Ahmed, a lock. Anthony Hopkins, a lock. Gary Oldman, even though he didn't get nominated for the BAFTA, a lock. All right, our number 5 spot is where it's going to get a little bit more interesting here, of course. I have Steven Yeun. You're going to see a lot of people are predicting this differently. A lot of people are putting in Delroy Lindo. That's been one that I've been seeing very frequently. Some people, I'm sure, are putting it Tahar Rahim, because he's been getting some recognition, especially at the BAFTAs. Of course, he got nominated there. I think he got nominated for the Globe too, didn't he? I think he did. So a lot you're going to see a lot of different things here from this number 5th spot, but I'm most confident in Steven Yeun because, like I said, how much are they going to enjoy the Five Bloods? I don't see it getting actor. I don't see them nominating Delroy Lindo here. I think they're really going to like Minari, though. I think Minari is getting several here, including lead actor. So, I don't know. As a film, I think they're going to like Minari more. I see them wanting to recognize it more here. So, I have Steven Yeun at this 5th spot. But again, this is one of those categories. I wouldn't be surprised to see Delroy Lindo take the 5th spot. And be a little bit surprised to see Tahar Rahim, just because I don't see the Oscars really liking the Mauritanian that much. So, I honestly, I see it getting shut out at the Oscars. I don't see it getting anything, but the best chance I think the Mauritanian has at getting anything, I think, is possibly Tahar Rahim sneaking in here at lead actor. But ultimately, I feel more comfortable predicting Steven Yeun. Everybody else is a lock to get nominated. Pretty confident with this category. All right, last but certainly not least, we have, of course, Best Picture. 9 nominees here. Nomadland, definitely. Trial of the Chicago 7, definitely. Mank, definitely. Promising Young Woman, for sure. One Night in Miami, I'm very confident that will get nominated. Same thing with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I'm very confident that will get nominated. Judas and the Black Messiah, I initially forgot to put it on here, but I do think it's going to get here. I think I'm pretty confident. It just slipped my mind. Initially, I had The Father on here because I thought, of course they're going to nominate The Father. Well, hold on a second. I think I mentioned this in a prior video. There are so many great films here. There really are. This is a very competitive Best Picture category this year. It's crazy to me to think that The Father wouldn't get nominated, but if Judas and the Black Messiah gets nominated, and if the Oscars, I see them liking Sound of Metal. Every other award category has liked Sound of Metal. I would be surprised if they didn't nominate Sound of Metal here for Best Picture because, again, like I said, I just see them really liking it, and I see them wanting to nominate it for stuff, for everything. Of course, that's an exaggeration, but Minari, another film, like I mentioned, I see them really liking Minari. So that, of course, means that The Father's the odd one out. The Five Bloods is a bit of a divisive film, not so much among critics, but I still think it has an outside chance of potentially getting nominated, but I don't see a lot of love being given to The Five Bloods by the Oscars. And The News of the World, I think, has a very outside chance of being nominated. I would be shocked if it got nominated here, to be frank. You know, really, like I said at the beginning of the video, some of these are interchangeable. Like these last three, Judas, Sound, and Minari, it's not like I really think Judas has a better chance at getting nominated over Minari. I could see The Father, To Five Bloods, and maybe News of the World replacing any of these, any three of those. I wouldn't be surprised if they got replaced. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. This Best Picture category will be interesting because there's really, it's kind of a lose-lose because someone's going to get left out. You know, someone's going to be the odd one out here. I haven't even seen The Father, and I already love it. So I'll be a little bit disappointed if it doesn't get nominated, but I love Sound of Metal. I wouldn't be disappointed at all with that. I really enjoyed Judas and the Black Messiah, and I've yet to see Minari, but I've heard great things about it. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Those are my predictions. In the comment section below, if you want to give me all of your predictions for every single Oscars category, then feel free to do that. If you want to just stick to, you know, the acting categories or the technical categories or the picture category, whatever you guys want to do, but I would love to hear your opinions, and I would love to start some conversations in the comment section below. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you enjoy awards content or movie content in general, please hit that red subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.